So, what's up? What's up? Suge Knight. He used to own Death Row Records. Tupac Amaru Shakur was the biggest selling artist on his label. Diddy and Suge been at this beef for a long time. Suge is doing this collect calls from prison. His mind is not incarcerated, although his body is. That's very important. We are now and have been for a very long time a mental state of warfare, accepting what is wrong. What is wrong to be right? What is right to be wrong? So even though this man, Suge Knight, is serving out a 28-year penalty, it has not stopped him from having his say. Suge, he was always known to be that outspoken. He got something to say, he gonna say it. Diddy, you look at him, he was always kind of known to be that party person. Always want to make you dance. Let's have a good time. Putting his arm around men, young men. Kind of an aggressive foretelling, but sometimes your eyes can sometimes play tricks on you. Now, I'm not accusing Diddy of anything extra, but what Diddy has put out there, he's pretty much accused himself of certain things. Now, Suge went on and had his say to expose Diddy possibly doing some unthinkable things to Usher. Now,
how they talk Puffy, they did that to him. Puffy did the same thing they did to him. He did to all the new artists and young artists.
Suge done had his say. He done had enough that he's like, look, why not? At this point, look, I'm serving out the sentence. What does he have to lose, in other words? It's been a lot of talk about Usher going to Diddy camp, Diddy flavor, being sent by L.A. Reid, who was the owner of LaFace Records, along with Babyface. Usher said he was supposed to go to get a taste of the industry, to get a taste of the rock star life, to know what it's like to be in the industry.
Sean Puffy comes for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks. And
Chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
How do you get a taste to know what it's like to be in the industry at 13, 14 years of age, to be around a man who's about 30 years old? He said Usher did say on record to Howard Stern when he was on there being interviewed years ago that he saw some things. I should tell it. For when Puffy got in the industry, it was some things that was passed down to him that was possibly done to him. So therefore, he ushered in what was done to him to continue this pattern of sorts. Now remember, Usher put out Justin Bieber. Usher introduced us to Justin Bieber, who at the time was 13, 14 when he met Usher. Justin Bieber spent some time with Puff Daddy.
Justin Bieber, where does he fit into all this?
Now, allegedly, Usher is responsible for introducing Justin Bieber to Diddy. Now, I can't find any evidence to support that claim, but I can find proof of young Justin Bieber meeting 40-year-old Diddy for the very first time and them spending an entire 48 hours together. And Justin Bieber looks absolutely terrified, as he should be.
But for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy. What do you mean by that?
A lot of times the question arises, where were the parents? Where were the parents to allow such a thing? Could it have been the idea of being poverty stricken? Do you know that you can be poverty stricken, downtrodden, suppressed in the mind, that you will accept what you may get an inkling about to be wrong, to still follow through? How much money could this advance help? I know my child is talented. I know that this is a talent that God has blessed my child with, that should be shared with the world. But at what cost? You got parents signing away their legal rights of guardianship to have someone in control, to grant them access to your child for however long, for them to make the executive decisions over a child. You'll be paid, but just go ahead and sign over, because it's times when the child has to go overseas to perform. It's times when the child will have to be taken out of school in order to perform. All this pressure to perform, to balance out, to be exposed, to be unsupervised, that it's like, who is this child? Who has this child turned into? Especially if values of right and wrong have been taught and instilled at an early age. But start letting that child get around adults who are having adult conversations that are inappropriate. Because really, you don't know who people really are behind closed doors, but the way the industry is made to sound like it's too much being exposed. Even adults have to be careful, let alone children. Sometimes, who's preyed upon? Single mothers. So be careful. Be careful when it comes to putting your mouth on single mothers. Who else is preyed upon a lot of times? The elderly. Who else is preyed upon a lot of times? People who appear that can't speak up for themselves. Meaning, people of the world, society, know who to go after, know who to target, know who's not going to be a problem, know who possibly will keep this hush hush so that bad things can continue on. Suge said at the end of the podcast that those bad people, period, need to be pushed out so that good can prevail. But how is that to be done? Well, you have to have the tools to do it. You have to keep passing down the message if something good has been instilled in you, so that a person can have a made up mind to say no, so that a person can have a made up mind to walk away, so that a person can have a made up mind to already have a plan in motion, to have devised. So when such things are brought to the forefront, the individuals know how to deal with it. So when it's said, you got to be careful about what you put before your eyes. You got to be careful about the words that you speak, the things that you listen to. What can easily be manifested and accepted in your spirit. You can't be afraid to speak out. I'm not saying to get yourself hurt in the process trying to speak out. You got to be careful. But if anything, guard your children. Protect the children. Be careful of your grandchildren. Be careful of your nieces. Be careful of your nephews. No one deserves to be taken advantage of in any form. No one absolutely deserves that. And I think it's a good thing that Suge is saying something, and it's meaningful. It's basic. It's common sense. But sometimes people have to be reminded to not let the guard down. Now, every person is not a bad person. That's why he said the bad people gotta be pushed out. It's so much to learn in this lifetime. It's still a journey as long as we hear, meaning we can't lose hope of what our elders have to say. Let them pass the information down. We can't lose hope of people that have been in the industry. However long it has been, some things just don't change. That will always be of value to listen to, that may help save somebody. It's a very, very tricky world out here, but it doesn't have to be so confusing to the point where a decision can't be made to be able to think. Suge Knight, he said, Puff, it's a place for you. He called him out. He said he waiting on him. Suge knows something. Again, he's serving a 20-year sentence. What does this man have to lose? Spread the message. Spread it. Put it out there. Because you can't continue to do bad. Like, how do you rest your head at night knowing you've done bad? Something is going to tug away, eat at that spirit, eat at that heart, eat at that mind, eat at that body. Because you can't be incarcerated right in the mind. You can be punished. Even though we may not see it visibly of somebody being punished, or they may not physically be behind bars, continue to do wrong. Them strings is going to be tugged at. Because see, that goes back also to the training. Now, not everybody got the training. Who's to say what is the proper training of a household and how parents choose to raise, how guardians choose to raise the children? But the children, it's always been a message of save the children. I've always heard that throughout life, especially since getting older. Save the children, because they are our future. As cliche as it sounds, it is the truth. Because again, they're going to be parents one day as well. And if they're already broken and they haven't been healed, they haven't realized what it is and how to turn things around. We remember the song. Who remembers this? Baby. It was a happy song that Justin Bieber sung. Then slowly, eventually, this man is 30 years old now. It was a transition. What happened to Justin Bieber? Is Justin Bieber surviving Diddy? Will Usher ever speak on anything? Is Usher surviving Diddy? Usher's mother, it's like she's going on this campaign of sort, these interviews, as if she's trying to cover up her decision. But maybe she didn't know. I can't imagine somebody just openly sending in a loved one into the enemy's camp. I just can't imagine a mother at that sending in their child to be taken advantage of. But she's speaking, and there again, was she ready to speak? It's like these subliminal responses, but what does people really want from her? What do they want her to say? I say too, these parents that have managed their kids, in the industry, if you really possibly want to turn things around, speak not only on the good, speak not only how money has changed your lives. I mean, you have heard some people even say, like, I won the lottery and my life was destroyed. Money. It's like, ooh, people want to talk about, I got to get to the bag. Is it by any means necessary? I got to make these coins. I'm chasing the paper. You go online, is something flashing before your face right quick, or you're seeing going past videos. How I made $50,000 in one day, in 2 days. I'm clicking on it. That's already being embedded into the mind. How to. So when you get offered a situation, you sitting up there with your light bill overdue. You sitting up there with the mortgage, the rent overdue, behind on that. You got a car, you don't have a car. Is the car working? Does the car need repairs, maintenance? That costs. Does the car need gas? Do you need food? All the decisions. Do the kids need shoes? Are they worn out? Are they being picked on because a haircut cannot be afforded? Clothes aren't clean. Can't afford washing liquid, detergent, washing powder. The necessities of life, just trying to keep your lights on to be in a functional world. But that child has an opportunity to do good as far as their talent. What do? Do you start fantasizing about, wow, if my child makes it, then all of this will be worry-free. But again, at what cost? Some parents will take it upon themselves to try to live their lives vicariously through their children. Maybe because they wanted to make it and didn't get the opportunity. But at what cost? It's a question that people have to even ask themselves. Kids are watching us. The grandkids are looking. The nieces, the nephews, they're looking. They're watching. Not everybody wants to be an example. Not everybody wants to talk against and say, ooh, that just doesn't sound right. But again, depending on what you're putting in your ears, depending on what, something's being communicated. Something is. So shout out to Suge. Collect calls from prison. Put it out there. Because the way Suge ended that and said, Puffy, I'm waiting on you. That was enough right there.